PT Speaking scores you on a variety of different aspects of spoken speech, like your pronunciation, your consonant clusters, the way that you use intonation and connected speech, all of these different aspects of spoken speech. But there is one that is more important than the rest. Before I talk about this one key strategy, let's take a look at the basics of PT Speaking. So in PT Speaking, there are 5 different tasks. There's read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, and answer short question. On test day, you will do between 35 and 42 of these questions. And you're scored on content, pronunciation, and oral fluency. Basically, content means that you're speaking on topic. So in read aloud, you're actually reading the words, or if you're describing an image, you're actually describing the picture itself or the image itself, or retell lecture, you're talking about the lecture. That's content. Pronunciation is, of course, the sounds that you make, the p and the d and the w and the l, for example, or the consonant clusters like the fr and the cr and the sl and the spl. Also, that includes word stress as well. Now, oral fluency is the one that you can improve very quickly. This includes different things such as intonation, connected speech, pausing, rhythm, and sentence stress. These things you can improve rapidly, whereas improving your pronunciation actually takes quite a bit of time, and improving your content score really does rely on your vocabulary. So the most important part of oral fluency, or the one that you can improve rapidly to improve your score, is sentence stress. Sentence stress is where you place emphasis on a single word in a sentence to give it greater meaning. This really will help your score. Let's take a look at a read aloud, and I'm going to model it poorly with no sentence stress, and then I'm going to tell you how to use sentence stress. Okay, so here's my read aloud paragraph. Here is a bad example with no sentence stress. It may seem intuitive that stress can accelerate the graying of your hair, but scientists have recently discovered that your original hair color can actually be restored if stress is eliminated. This finding defies a recent study that found that stress-induced gray hairs are permanent. Weirdly enough, this paragraph is about stress. The type of stress that I'm talking about is different. Sentence stress means emphasis, okay? Placing emphasis on words. And as you just heard, I did not place emphasis on words in this paragraph, and as such, it was flat. Now, the PT algorithm likes rhythm. It likes sentence stress. The question is, what words do you emphasize or place stress on when you're doing read aloud or any of the other speaking tasks? Take a look at this paragraph here, and the bold words indicate the words you should stress, and the italicized and underlined words should also be stressed as well. Have a listen to this. It may seem intuitive that stress can accelerate the graying of your hair, but scientists have recently discovered that your original hair color can actually be restored if stress is eliminated. This finding defies a recent study that found that stress-induced gray hairs are permanent. So what I've done here is emphasize, first of all, the modal verb may. It may seem intuitive. And then I've also emphasized the conjunction but. But scientists have, and the adverb recently discovered, and another adverb actually, and then I've emphasized if, actually be restored if stress is eliminated. Then the pronoun this, as in this finding, and again, recent, which is an adjective. So these types of words are going to be in all read aloud passages because they're so common, right? The conjunction like but or if or may or this, these words are highly common. Now the other words that I've emphasized are key words according to this particular passage. And what you need to do in the preparation time is read that paragraph, Make sure you understand it, and then you'll know which words to emphasize meaning, because ultimately your speaking score is about how well you can convey meaning. Let's look at it one more time. So you can also see I've emphasized the word graying. Accelerate the graying of your hair. Your original hair color can actually be restored and eliminated and permanent. These words are key to showing the meaning of this paragraph. So it's pretty straightforward to do with read aloud because you can actually see the paragraph in front of you, and effectively you're just reading. You're not really even speaking in a sense. So make sure you do apply sentence stress to your read alouds to boost your score. But what do you do for the other tasks like describe image and retell lecture when you're not actually seeing the words on the screen and you really are spontaneously saying the words? Well, you also need to apply sentence stress. So let's take a look at a describe image. Okay, imagine this is the image that you see on test day. So it's internet users per 100 inhabitants from 1997 to 2007. The blue line shows the growth of the internet usage in the developed world. The yellow line shows the growth in the world globally, and the red line shows growth in the developing world. Obviously, you can see here that the developed world has much higher internet penetration. So what I've just done there, by the way, is in the 25 seconds preparation time for describe image, you're effectively just doing that. You're just understanding what the graph is showing, because you need to understand it before you can start to describe it. Let's take a look now at a transcript of a way that I would describe this graph. So on test day, I would do this. I would say, this graph represents the number of internet users from da 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 da, and I would finish with overall internet use is growing. The question is, where do I apply my sentence stress here to maximize my scores? Well, if we look here, this is how I would do it. This graph represents the number of internet users from 1997 to 2007 in the developed, developing, and world at large. Internet use began in 1997 and grew rapidly in the developed world. It was highest in 2007. By contrast, the internet grew much more slowly in the developing world and was also the highest in 2007. Finally, the world globally saw reasonable growth in internet usage over the period. Overall, internet use is growing. Just keep in mind when you do describe image that you're not going to give a great description of whatever you're looking at. 25 seconds to prepare, 40 seconds to speak. Just pick the most conspicuous things to describe, but make sure that when you are describing that image, you are hitting on certain words that are going to show contrast, or words like rapidly, slowly, finally, and overall. By the way, there's a really interesting little bit of grammar that I used here, and it's probably grammar you'll need to use in all of your describe images or some of your describe images. Take a close look at this sentence here. By contrast, the internet grew much more slowly. Much more slowly. This is an interesting piece of grammar. It's called a comparative adverb. Much less slowly, much more quickly, etc. You're going to have to use this type of construction in your describe images. If you want to learn about this particular bit of grammar, which is quite tricky, you can click the link in the description below or search E2 English on YouTube and subscribe to that YouTube channel because it's all about good grammar. But if you want to improve your PTE scores, then you should think about investing in an E2 package to pass your test. We have packages starting from $49 US. They include live classes and practice tests, and you can upgrade your account for mock tests, tutorials, and much, much more. Cool. Hopefully you found that little tip about speaking helpful. Remember, you need to practice this sentence stress prior to test day. Good luck.